Hello, and welcome to a McQuantico Library Tech Camp. I'm Noah, and today we'll be taking a look at Microsoft Excel. If you don't own Office 365 or you have an Apple computer, you can access the Microsoft Office Suite for free on office.com. That's OFFICE.com. However, you'll need to have a consistent internet connection to use this free version of the Office Suite. That means that you won't be able to use it offline like I am or download it to your computer. Microsoft Excel is the Office version of a digital spreadsheet or workbook, allowing you to store, analyze, and calculate data quickly and easily. When you open up Microsoft Excel, you'll see this homepage, which shows your recently edited workbooks here, workbooks you've pinned to access quickly here, and any workbooks that you have been shared. So if anyone has ever shared a workbook with you and they want to collaborate with you, you will see it here in the Shared With Me area. The options on the left bar also give you options for either creating new workbooks or opening ones you've already made and saved. In the New section, there are tons of options for templates that you could use if you're looking to work on a project that is relatively simple and can be based around these templates. They are great to look through to help get a good start on your workbooks. There are also a few great tutorials here, and these are kind of doing what I am doing right now in this video, so I'm not going to go through them. And in here, I'm going to open my example workbook and go into the editing process. So to open that up, I just clicked it once on my recently edited page, and now I'm able to see the full editing interface. This is the main area where you'll be editing your workbook. This is the grid of what are called cells in your workbook, and these hold all the data, text, and equations you'll be using. So there's anything from A1 down to however far you need. So it'll go down hundreds down and to the right as far as you need. And you can keep adding more and more cells if you need more space for all your data. Cells can be merged together, resized, recolored, and edited in many ways to fit what you want within your spreadsheet. So, for example here, I merged these top 2 rows and first 5 columns to make this large title area, and I just did that by selecting them and clicking Merge in Center, and that merged all of them together. I also recolored these to have a different color, just so I know that they're the title of the page. And I also added some borders within here. If you see those thin lines in between each of the different pieces of data, those are borders around the cells. Here I have some examples for some of the functions and equations you can use within your spreadsheet to make your work much more efficient and easier to use. So right now I'm just going to go through the sum function. And there are countless formulas that can be used in your spreadsheet, and I don't have enough time or knowledge to explain every one of them. However, the help section here gives a great explanation for each of these formulas. Right now, I'm just going to run over a few basic equations and give a basis for how to understand Excel's notation. If you want some help on training, you'll want to click the Show Training area, and this will give you tons of options for formulas and functions, formatting, tables and charts. There's a whole option for pivot tables, which is a way to adjust your data very easily. And yeah, so there's tons of explanations here that go really in depth on each of these parts that I'm just going to give an overview of in this video. Now, first we're going to have to know the notation of how to understand the location of a cell. So I have some tables set up here with data that we're going to use for automatic addition in this specific cell and this cell. And so a cell's location is notated by its column letter, then its row number. For example, this first 50 here is held in the B column and in the 4th row, so its location would be B4. Capital B4, nothing in between. So to sum the amounts of the fruits in the table, we can use the equal sum formula that will show the sum of those cells. First, in here, we type the equal sign, then capital SUM, then in open parentheses. In the parentheses, we put the location of the first cell we want to sum, so that would be this 50, which is B4, and then a colon, and then the location of the last cell that you want to add within the range. So I want to add these four numbers here, so 50, 20, 60, and 40, and so that is cells B4 to B7. So I'm going to go B4 and B7, and now that will, and then closing parentheses, and this will, once I click enter, give me the sum of all of the numbers in there. The great thing about using these equations is that the sum will always change according to any changes in the range of cells you use. So if the oranges are to raise from 20 to 30, I can now see that the sum went up from 170 to 180. And the same principle applies to almost every single formula in Excel, like the average formula, SUMIF formula, or order functions. There are lots of different functions that you can use, and all of them are found in this Formulas tab here. There's also a thing called shortcuts, and these are very useful in Excel. And so what I can do, instead of putting in that whole sum formula here that we see, what I can do is just select these four and then click Alt equals, and that will put the sum right in the cell below it. And you can see here, this is the equation that it created for me, is from E4, so this number, to E7, this number, and all of them in between will sum up and put it into this cell here. And so just holding down the Alt button and the equal button will give you an automatic sum. What you can also do is click Auto Sum up here in the home page, or Formulas and click Auto Sum here. And these all are different options to do essentially the same thing, which is just sum all of the all of the data within cells here. You can also create better tables and charts from data tables in Excel using the Insert tab at the top of the screen. But before I get into that, though, I'll do a quick run over of each of the tabs in Excel. So, like I said, the Home tab has all the basic formatting options for text size and color, cell borders, and cell styles. It also has some easily accessible functions like I showed over here in editing. Next, the Insert tab. And the Insert tab allows you to place pictures, tables, charts, special symbols, and other items into your workbook. The Draw tab gives you the ability to easily write notes and comments in your workbook. It also has the ability to read your shapes and symbols that you draw to convert it into actual character that your computer can edit easily and you can move around. Page layout is just as it sounds, where you can set up how your workbook is laid out, adjusting the scale, themes, and orientation using these different options here. The Formulas, like I said as well, is a tab that lists every function available in Excel's library, as well as the ability to run an error checker and adjust calculations. So using these different formula auditing options, as well as the calculation section, which shows how you can adjust the calculations. So if you want to do it automatically, manually, how you want things to be calculated in your workbook. The Data tab allows you to import data from external sources, refresh data if it is out of date, filter your data, order it, or even calculate forecasts based on current data. So all of these different functions, there's, like I said, there's a lot here, and they all have explanations in the help section, as well as some of those tutorial options at the beginning. But this is just going to be kind of an overview of what you have the ability to do. In the Review tab, you also have the ability to proofread, comment, and take notes on your workbook. So this lets you, especially if you're working collaboratively with someone, You can put notes down to let someone else know, or comments to let yourself know, or someone else know what you want to do, kind of what you're thinking with something, if you want to change something, or let them know your opinion about something that's in the document. You can also hide ink, which if you ever make drawings in the draw section, you can hide the ink from it and just look at the board how it is. The View tab, finally, lets you preview different viewing options as well as show different headings, zoom in and out, and adjust the viewable window. So this just lets you see all the different options that you have for viewing your document. You can zoom in all the way, you can add new windows, arrange your windows into different ways so you can see different sheets. And on that topic, you can add different sheets into one workbook. So let's say you have a sheet for one group of people, and then for another group of people you can add a second sheet, and then for another one you can add a third sheet, and name these however you want just by right-clicking and clicking the rename button, and that will let you rename all these different sheets all within a single workbook. Now, these tabs all have very interesting uses, and they are all explained in depth within the Help tab, as I said. Now, if we come back to the data, we can make it into a table by highlighting the area we want and go to the Insert tab and click the Table button. So I'm going to highlight the data that I want, go to Insert, and click Table, and it'll show me the exact range of the cells that I want. Don't worry about the dollar signs or anything like that. That's just the notation that Excel likes to use, but it'll just use what you've selected. You click OK, and now it's designated as an actual quote-unquote table within